is underway right now.
Ahead of the May 4th primary, Local 12 News is getting the candidates' views on issues facing our city. James Pilcher focuses on police reform today.
Here are the 6 candidates. Current Councilman and former Mayor David Mann, former Councilman and current State Senator Cecil Thomas, former Fire Department District Chief Raphael Prophet, former congressional staffer, scientist and entrepreneur Gabby Begtrup, current Hamilton County Clerk of Courts Aftab Purival. They are all Democrats. Educator Herman Najoli is the sole independent. Today's question: Cincinnati has been at the forefront of police reform since the riots of 20 years ago. What else should be done to improve police-community relations and trust in the department?
The achievements that have been accomplished through the collaborative agreement have been terrific. We had a refresh in 2018. Definitely there's still some challenges. For instance, the Citizen Complaint Authority is underfunded. We need more investigators. We need to work through this backlog of more than 140 cases. I have proposed that we need to hit the reset button with policing systems. Obviously, we are concerned about the actions of a single police officer, but real change comes through systemic change. And having studied systems theory for my doctoral degree, I'd like to bring that kind of insight into how we can transform our policing systems.
This past year, COVID in particular has shown a light on the long-standing generational systemic racism and racial inequities that exist in Cincinnati and across our country. The good news is, as you've mentioned, we are the national model. Our collaborative agreement has been replicated throughout the country, but we've gotten away from it. We have to fully fund the collaborative agreement and get back to the fundamentals, like the Citizen Complaint Authority. The executive, which is a fundamental pillar of the collaborative agreement. The executive director of the Citizen Complaint Authority just 3 weeks ago said that they are so underfunded that they have over 140 complaints that are over 90 days old. And even if we fully fund them today, it would take them a year to get rid of their backlog. We've got to fully fund our priorities, and public safety has to be one of them. But we also have to think creatively and innovatively. That's what I've done at the clerk's office, bringing in good management skills and innovation to make us more efficient. We've got to look at putting our public dollars to best use to create public safety for all of our 52 neighborhoods.
As a retired firefighter, retiring as a district chief, several of the positions I had where we sought to improve public safety. In fact, I'm a CEO, co-founder of a company called Public Medical, where we seek to transform public safety. I think that we need to really get at how we can really transform public safety. We have to do the data analysis on what it takes to structure our public safety forces, which includes the police, to better serve our citizens and the city. So there's a great opportunity here, especially in the aftermath of the verdict of the Floyd trial.
We've made a lot of progress, but we have a long way to go. The reality is we have slowed down in our commitment to police reform. It seems as if City Hall is waiting for another tragedy to act. What we need to do is fully commit to the collaborative agreement, to the refresh. We have the recommendations. We know what needs to happen, but we need a mayor who takes this as a priority. Cincinnati could once again lead the country in police community relations, in police reform. Instead of being in the New York Times for having the most corrupt city hall in the country, let's be in the New York Times for having the most progressive police force. We have to commit to the collaborative agreement. We have to fully fund the Citizens Complaint Authority to make sure that we end the backlog of cases there. And I've actually come out with a plan for setting aside $1 million of the stimulus money to support innovative ideas in policing coming out of the communities. The communities know what they need to build relationships. Let's give them some money to help do it.
Cincinnati has come a long way. Cincinnati has a model program, I should say a model methodology, which is the collaborative agreement, and moving forward with that. And continuing to stay focused on what the intent of the collaborative agreement was, which was community-oriented problem-solving policing. We have our law enforcement efforts, but we also have a community effort. And most law enforcement agencies do much better with a community-oriented problem-solving methodology. The governor, as Governor Kasich, as well as Governor DeWine, have all focused on how we're doing our work in Cincinnati as a model, not just for the state, but for the country. So continuing to pound away, we're not perfect, but we are doing much better than some of the other cities as it relates to police community relations.
We first need to give credit to the quality of our policing and the way it's improved in the last 20 years, and it has. And I've had many number of officers say to me, we don't approve in any way, and we never say we approve of what happened in Minneapolis. That doesn't mean there's not room for improvement. There needs to be continued collaboration and engagement between the police and community members. There needs to be a devotion to continuous improvement. There needs to be a devotion to serious collaborative problem solving. All those things will continue to make our police force even better and something we can be even more proud of.
Well, the top two finishers in the primary square off in the general election in November. You can see the full interviews and the candidates' answers at local12.com.